Hello beautiful and welcome to Mawaheb home. Today's video I want to burn test the candles that I made with you last week. I have them right here. I want to talk you through the cold throw, the hot throw, and also how it looks like aesthetically. As you know, I've been having troubles with my S41, not massive troubles. I'm still getting the hot throw, I'm still getting the cold throw. The only thing that I'm having is it's been extremely hot in London and my S41 is just not handling the heat, and the amount of sweating that I get in my S41 isn't really something that I'm happy with. So I really want to try and minimize it as much as I possibly can, which is why I decided to add on the Kerasoy wax onto my S41. And I did two sets of candles, a blend of 50% and a blend of 70% for my candles. First set of candle that I have is the coconut lime candles, and I did a 50-50 blend of Kerasoy and S41. And you guys, one of the things that immediately caught my attention is, of course, if there's any sweating. The weather has been super warm and I haven't experienced any sweating in my candle, and that makes me super happy, which means box ticked. One of the things that I wanted to minimize has actually worked. Let me guys show you the tops as well. I was also worried about the tops. I might need to run a heat gun around it, but the top is not rough, it's not clumpy, it's just a bit wrinkly. I can either smooth that out with a second pour or with just heat gunning the candle, and this would be the second one. And the wicks that I've used for that one is 2 TB8 and TB14. Now for the next set of candle, I use a 30-70 blend of Kerasoy and S41. And again, same results, no sweating, really good tops, absolutely incredible. Another thing that caught my nose, you guys, is I think the cold throw. I don't know if I'm going insane, but I feel like the cold throw has became stronger. Like, you guys, my tobacco flower is usually a very soft scent when you smell it off of the cold throw, and it's pretty strong, I would say, when you smell it from the hot throw. But first impressions, when you smell the candle, it's a soft fragrance, and I usually rate the cold throw of my tobacco flower between a 7 and an 8 out of 10. But you guys, this has exceeded my expectations. The blend of Kerasoy and S41 has done something to my cold throw, you guys, because it just smells so strong, a lot stronger than when I was using S41 on its own. You guys, it smells so, as in it doesn't smell soft, as in the fragrance is really coming through. Like, you take a sniff and you can really smell it, which smells incredible, and it goes for both candles. It's like, guys, I have no idea, but I don't want to have my expectations or hopes so high up with how I burn test these candles, but these smell incredible. I mean, the coconut lime, you guys, the coconut lime, oh god, I could eat it if I can, but oh, it smells so good, so strong. I'm just so shocked at how good the cold throw is with that blend of Kerasoy and S41, and I'm really looking forward to just burn testing this. I'm gonna choose to go for tonka and tobacco flower in my bedroom because it's my favorite scent to burn in my bedroom. Coconut lime smells very strong. If you guys are testing coconut lime, I would literally advise that you test it in a living room in a more open area because it smells very strong. The hot throw of it is incredible. But I'm still gonna burn these in my parents' bedroom so I don't have to go up and down the stairs, and so you won't hear me out of breath when I'm filming. Anyway, let's get to burn testing these babies, shall we? I cannot wait. Right, starting with the tonka and tobacco flower. This is a Stabilo 12. There we go. And this is the 2 Stabilo 3s. I don't know how that's gonna work out. I'd be interested to know. Second candle, and then coconut lime. My lighter ran out, so we're gonna have to move on to another lighter. There we go. I'll check in with you on the first hour burn. I usually do my first round of burn testing for 4 hours, leave my candles to rest, come back to it another day and burn it for another 4 hours. And I'm going to take notes as we speak as well. Really excited to see how it will work in terms of aesthetic after it finishes burning. And also the hot throw, is it going to be stronger, is it going to be weaker, how is the wicks going to react? All the stuff that we are curious about, I really want to focus and really tune in to it today. So let's conduct this burn test together, you guys. I'm really excited. I'll see you in 1 hour. First hour burn, let's go through it. First things first, I want to focus on that flame. As you guys can see here, the flame is a little bit higher than the jar. These type of flames worry me, just because as my candle gets to here or halfway through my candle, this type of flame height, you guys, will make so much soot on the sides of my candle, which I want to avoid. But let's go through the details of the actual wick. The stability 12 is not mushrooming. I don't have any soot from the actual flame, which is great. There's a slight dance to the flame, as you guys can see, but again, it's not a worrying flicker. It's not a dangerous or a vigorous flicker, which is excellent. I don't have a full melt pool, which is great since I'm only on my first hour burn. It's just looking incredible. Apart from the flame height, the hot throw smells amazing in here, you guys. That's the first thing I smell. It just smells incredible. I know I'm burning 2 candles. On my second round of burn test, I will get rid of 1 candle and keep another one burning. Now for the 2 Stabilo 3s, this is actually doing pretty well. If I can show you here, you guys, you can't see the flame heights peeking out from the jar. I know you can see me in the mirror, don't look the greatest, but the flame heights are not peeking out the jar, which is great. This is a type of flame height that I like, but it's also important for me to get a good hot throw. So I definitely want to test this candle on its own in my bedroom to see if the hot throw is really coming through and it's just not this candle doing all the work, either or. And let's go through the melt pool. As you guys can see here, I'm almost at a full melt pool. My 2 wicks will burn a lot faster than the single wicks, and that's okay with me, especially if I'm working with Kerasoy. I do usually double wick, but I still have some wax on the sides of the jar there. I don't have any mushrooming on my wick, which is great. Flame height is good, no soot from my flame, which is amazing. Hot throw is great. Let's move on to the next candle. Right, my lovelies, as for the coconut and lime candle, and the wicks are 2 TB8 and a TB14. Again, I think with the TB14, you guys, can you see that the flame height is peeking out from my candle jar? I don't like that at all. And I think the flame height of TB14 is a lot higher than the Stabilo 12, so I definitely won't be going for the TB14 again. I need to wick down for sure, but I don't have any mushrooming or any soot from the flame, which is great. It smells incredible in here, by the way, you guys. As I literally walk up and in the corridor where all the rooms are, it literally just smells of coconut lime. This is how strong the hot throw of coconut lime is. It just smells incredible, honestly. It never fails how good the hot throw is. But I definitely won't be testing this wick again. I'll need to go down to TB12. I think that's the next wick down. But yeah, it is too big for me. Not for me, if I'm being honest with you. In terms of melt pool, it's actually doing well. It looks like it's about to tunnel, but I doubt it will tunnel given the flame being this high. It's only the first hour burn, so hopefully by the 3rd hour burn, all that wax will melt through and it will give me a nice even melt pool. Let's move on to the 2 TB8s. Wow, I think this actually is looking really good. Let's test the flame heights and see if they're peeking out the container. As you guys can see here, it's not peeking out like how the TB14 is peeking out, which is great. Really happy with the flame heights here. I haven't reached a full melt pool yet, which is great considering I'm using 2 wicks. There's a little bit more wax to burn than the 2 Stabilo 3s actually. Smells incredible in here. If you look closely at the wick, no mushroom, no sooting. Really happy. And here's for the 2nd hour burn. I just want to move back a little bit to see how the flame heights are doing. Perfect. So this is still, the flame height is still higher than the jar here. The flame heights here are looking great. Let's move on to the candles. And before I forget, the hot throw is still going nice and strong, which is perfect. Oh, I feel like I have a bit of a cold. In terms of the how the flame is behaving, I think it's actually pretty steady. Very soft dance to it. That's something that doesn't worry me. I don't know if these are mushrooming. I don't think they are. It doesn't look like mushrooming when I'm looking at it without the camera lens, but I think it's looking great apart from the flame height being a little bit too high for me. So I definitely should try and go down to a Stabilo 10, but I personally think a Stabilo 10 may be too small and it may tunnel, because I have a little bit somewhat of a melt pool, if you guys can see here in the middle, but I do have extra wax around the container, which is absolutely fine. That could actually add on to my burn test. Let's move on to the Stabilo 3s. These are looking incredible. I love the flame heights. I am at a full melt pool on my second hour burn, and again, that is absolutely fine for me because I'm using 2 wicks. I definitely prefer the double wicks over the single wick. I don't have any soot from both of the candles, which is great. Both flame heights are pretty steady, as you guys can see there. I want to monitor this candle a little bit more as the candle gets hotter. Am I going to get consistent results throughout? Second set of candles, let's do what I done earlier. Okay, there's a flame height for this. It's actually pretty huge, a lot bigger than the one that I have in my bedroom, and this is looking pretty good. I think the TB8s are doing really well actually, guys. What do you think? Flame heights are great. I still have a little bit of wax to burn through here, which is fine. That could happen as my candle gets hot. There's no sitting on my flames, which is great. I do have the window open, by the way, in my parents' bedroom, which is why you can see a little bit of a dance. This is definitely flickering a lot more than this, but it's really nice to see the difference between Stabilo and TB. I definitely want to try the CL wicks as well, but I actually don't have enough wicks from CL, so I definitely need to buy more, but that would be for another time to test out. I think the Stabilo 3s have a smaller flame height than the TB8s, but they're looking great, you guys. There's no mushroom or anything like that. Again, like, even though the window is open, there is a slight dance to the flame, but it's not dangerous or where I feel like my candle's overheating. Smells incredible here. Even my mum loves it. But we'll check in again on the third hour burn. Third hour burn, my lovelies. Let's do a flame height check. Okay, nothing on the 2 Stabilos, which is great, but we're still having the same results for the Stabilo 12. I've definitely developed some mushrooming. Usually what I notice with Stabilo, you guys, when I literally put this candle to rest, these mushrooming just disappear, and all I need to do is just basically trim my wick and start my burn test again. So these type of mushrooming, I don't mind if they develop this far into my burn cycle. The reason why is because I'm on my 3rd hour burn. I've only got 1 more hour to go, and that's absolutely fine. If these type of mushrooms were to develop from the 1st hour burn, that mushroom will end up growing. By the time it gets to my 4th hour burn, that mushroom will be huge. The flame height, I think, is actually doing a lot better than the TB 14, I think, is what I have in my parents' bedroom. So the flame height is a lot better. I actually think now that the candle is on its 3rd hour burn, I feel like the flame height has shrunk a little bit. There is still some wax residue on the side of the jar, which is good because I'm not even on my 4th hour burn and I still have some wax to burn. I haven't noticed any sitting or vigorous or angry flickering on my flame, which is excellent. As you guys can see, it's pretty steady, which is great. It does have a dance to it, but that doesn't really bother me that much. Let's move on to the set of candle. As you guys can see here as well, I have developed mushrooming. Because I'm using 2 wicks, I'd much prefer that I get as less mushrooming as I possibly do. Even though this mushrooming seemed tiny, this is a little bit bigger than this, but again, I would prefer that I won't have any mushrooming in when I'm working with 2 wicks, and I have had that experience before. It could be maybe I could use a little bit less Kerasoy, maybe I could wick down, because I've got 2 Stabilo 2s as well that I could try. But it's all about trial and error. I would want to minimize the mushrooming on double wicking as much as I possibly can. As for these lovely set of candles, this is not a good flame height for me, you guys. I just don't like it at all. And I still have a layer of wax that I need to burn through. It looks like it's tunneling. It could be tunneling, you guys, but I don't have any mushrooming on my wick considering how large my flame height is, and I don't have any sitting either, which is great. Hot throw is just delicious. I recommend anyone to try the coconut lime because honestly it will not fail. The hot throw of this fragrance is just incredible. Moving on to my double wicks, the TB8. I think in terms of mushrooming, the TB8 is doing a lot better than the Stabilos. Let me just give you a reminder that in my coconut lime, I've got 50% Kerasoy, 50% S41, and in the ones in my bedroom, I've got 30% Kerasoy and 70% S41. I definitely think from a mushrooming perspective, TB is doing a lot better. I still have a little bit of wax here, and it's also burning a lot slower, you guys. I don't know if you've noticed, but in the last 3 hours I've had more wax around the candle container with my TB8s than I did with my Stabilo 3s. So that is very good to note down. As you guys can see here, I've got a light flicker on my flame. My flame height is pretty good. As you guys can see, you can't see it above my candle container, which is great. And look at the glow. Oh god, I love it. And it's literally like, what time is it right now? It's 8 in the evening, and look at the glow in my parents' bedroom with that candle. It's just, it's almost like I've lit a lamp. It's just incredible. The last hour burn, let's check the flame heights. The Stabilo 12 still has a large flame height, but the 2 Stabilo 3s are actually doing pretty well. Let's go through the wicks. So as you guys can see here, the mushrooming has developed a little bit more, but it's not too bad actually. And I have a thin layer of wax over here. I haven't noticed there's no soot coming out of the flame, which is great. Almost at a full melt pool, but I'm happy with a little bit of wax on the side. Is my candle container chipped? I think my candle container is chipped. Anyway, moving on to the double wicks. The mushrooming has actually grown a little, so it's either I could use a little bit less of Kerasoy, so I'd go to 20%, or I need to wick down because the TB8s are doing a lot better than the Stabilos. So maybe it is the wicks and not the percentages of wax, but I haven't seen the TBs yet, so we'll check that later together. And no soot, flame heights are good, very little flickering on the flame, which is great. It's just the mushrooming that's bothering me a little bit. I actually don't like that very much. I bought the coconut lime candles into my bedroom because my parents need their room, but this is the TB8s. I actually think the TB8s are doing a little bit better than the Stabilo, which is great and good to know. The flame heights are good. There is a slight flicker, as you guys can see on the flames here, but I wouldn't say that's a worrying one, you guys. And again, I do have the windows open. But just to do a flame height check, yeah, I can still see this peeking through. And the one at the back there is the Stabilo 12. In terms of mushrooming, you guys, I think the TB Wicks is doing a lot better than Stabilo. The Stabilo have mushrooming, but the TBs don't, which is good to know. So maybe I should play around with the TBs more. Maybe I could try and wick down and see if I can have any luck. Hello, my lovelies. It's been 2 days since I've burn tested these candles with you. I have not did my second round of burn testing. I just really want to show you the tops of the candles. It's literally 33 degrees today, you guys, and I would say the Kerasoy mixing with the S41 is definitely a successful one for me. I don't think I need a 50-50 blend, if I'm being honest. I think a 30-70 blend is more than enough, and this is how the tops look like, which is great. I was worried about the rough tops post burn test, which is great. Barely anything, which is what I want. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to burn test these two for the second round of burn test, and I'll let you know about the hot throw as well. Just want to check in for the second round of burn testing for over 2 hours of my candle burning. As you guys know, I enjoy testing with 2 wicks when there's Kerasoy in my candle because it helps burn my candle better, because 1 wick struggles. This has a very different burn test from the first round of burn testing, you guys, because this wick over here is struggling slightly, while this wick is doing a lot better than this one. If you can see, I have almost reached a full melt pool. The hot throw is not as strong as it is in the room when I was burning the second candle, so I'm guessing the single Stabilo 12 was doing a lot better than the double Stabilo 3 in terms of hot throw. I can smell that there's a fragrance here. I would rate it a 7 out of 10. It's not strong. When I was burning 2 candles together, it was like a 10 out of 10 hot throw, Right now I want to go check in on the coconut lime because that one always gives off a good hot throw, so let's go check it out together. And this is the 2 TB8s, you guys. I think they're doing a lot better than the Stabilo 3s in terms of flame height and hot throw as well. The hot throw of the coconut lime is absolutely beautiful in this bedroom. I think it also depends on the fragrance, you guys. Some fragrances really come off so strong, and some fragrances you can get a hot throw of like a 7 out of 10 or a 6.5 out of 10. I feel like with coconut lime I always get a 10 out of 10 hot throw no matter what wick I'm using, but I definitely think the TB8s are doing a lot better. Like they don't mushroom. The only thing that I'm worried about is how deep the melt pool is. As you guys can see here, this is a pretty deep melt pool, which I don't really like it. When I'm burning 2 wicks, I just want to have half of that melt pool. This is a very large melt pool. It means I'm burning a little bit too much wax. TB8 is the smallest wick, so I definitely can't wick down to another wick because it doesn't exist. In terms of the flames, the window is open. Sorry guys, it is so hot in here, so I am getting a slight dance, but as you guys can see, even with the wind hitting the jar, the flames are not going above the jar where it's dangerous. My flickering is very minimal. For me, when I have flickering or when there's a window open and there's wind hitting the flames, I don't want the flame to go high. You know, when you get a lot of flickering and the flame just goes high, I don't like that. So I want to keep the flickering to a minimal, but for now I think I'm pretty happy with the size of the flames. And that's about it, you guys. That's for the second round of burn test. I think I'm going to leave it here with showing you the burn test. Every round of burn testing is different than the other, which is why it's so important that you always test from beginning to end, because it honestly behaves so differently. As you guys saw on the Stabilo 3s, the first round of burn testing, it was doing amazing, and then the second round of burn testing, one of the wicks is basically non-existent. So it always changes. It's always good to always monitor every hour, every round of your burn testing.